Okay, so lately I've been noticing that I say know what I'm talking about a lot. So I'm gonna try to do this right here the best I can without saying know what I'm talking about. Because this is Beat News. Beat News is complete news if you don't understand what I'm talking about. See, I just did it again. I need clarification, I guess. I'm looking to you, the people, for clarification. What you think about clarification, Kevin Folk? You think I need clarification, or you think I need to just not say what you know what I'm talking about? Because that's been my little trademark saying. So I need to keep saying.
I see what you do. Do what you do. I got yeah.
Okay, so this is Beat News, and y'all know how this goes. If not, it goes a little something like this.
I am sorry that this gentleman is dead, but he did bring a 9mm semi-automatic weapon with two cartridges to what was supposed to be a peaceful protest. I think that there are a lot of paid agitators who are ginning things up, and the governor has not done a good job of tamping this down.
Yeah. I mean, as you know, I was an ICU nurse, worked for the Veterans Administration, and there's no evidence that he brandished the gun whatsoever.
But he brought a gun. Have you ever gone to a protest, Jonathan?
We do have a Second Amendment in this country.
I am sorry that this gentleman is dead, but he did bring a 9mm semi-automatic weapon with 2 cartridges to what was supposed to be a peaceful protest. I think that there are a lot of paid educators. I'm sorry.
This is essentially the problem. What have we done to the immigrants? We owe black people something. We have a legacy of immigrants haven't even been in this country.
The reason people are concerned about the words they use, the reason Americans care about civil rights, the reason we are sensitive to one issue and one issue only, and that is how black Americans were treated in this country. It is because of the legacy of and Jim Crow. Those do not compare Irish and the new groups. They always get a little bad treatment. Do not compare that to how blacks are treated in this country. You don't get to pick on the black experience in America. Do not get to do that just because you are a woman, an immigrant. No, the rest of you can go.
No, I think civil rights.
Just had a commercial bobtail losing on the bridge. Now in the burn here at the 213. I will check her in. I don't think you rolled it. He'll probably drive away. Just had another 31 here involving an SUV. I now have the eastbound lane blocked. Just had a commercial bobtail.
And how that ripples out around the country matters, and how the public receives that matters. You gave a talk last night I happened to catch a little bit of that went viral, in which you talked about in this moment we must choose the right side of history, talking about Alex Preddy's death, talking about his memory not being, just a blessing, but a moment of change. And I think with respect for a lot of folks out there, buffeted by economic woes, buffeted by the horrific scenes on the television of their fellow Americans being killed by their government, buffeted by children being snatched up and taken off and used as bait to get their parents by ICE officials. The country seems poised for change, but how is it delivered? How does that delivery system work for them?
Because y'all talk about that, then you bring control.
We are in process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Promise. Don't worry. We'll take our country back. It's time instead that we take our country forward into the future, a better future.
Yeah, they talking this shit. They ain't really talking, man. Yeah, I hear them talking. I don't know what they talking about. Yeah, I hear them talking. I don't know what they talking about. Yeah, they talking shit.
A NATO commander has issued a warning. He fears that Russia is planning an attack. It's not something that can be done in secret or in one fell swoop. So maybe NATO should avoid unnecessary fear-mongering.
Just a piece of free advice to my Republican friends. It's probably not the best idea to take direction of law and order from a guy who, as we speak, is a defendant for covering up hush money payments for political gain.
No longer divided into Democrats and Republicans, are divided into liberals and conservative kings. Liberals from both parties cross party lines to work together towards the same goal, and conservatives from both parties do likewise.
Politics in these crazy minds. Trying to make it to my prime. Motherfuckers is dropping down. Talking shit. Not trying to like orders. I'm never quitting, never stepping out, never ever giving up because I know I gotta do what I gotta do. Straight from the inside. That's why I'm letting see. But over there, see, look, they got more than me. And sometimes I can't live like that G.I. So I go out and what I got to get, and I do exist.
That's just the bottom line.
What now that I fucking know? And what now that I fucking go on to the other thing that I knew what I do and I don't care. But opportunities must, and on God I trust. So I get out to do what I gotta do. But guess what? I really don't have a fucking clue. That's what you been doing all the fucking time. When y'all been like stealing our fucking lives. And so you live it through me. Hell yeah. But guess what, G? Taking it all back. Taking it all back. We doing what we gotta do. We doing hard stacks.
This is our Constitution.
And listen. Constantly doing what we got to do and always shit.
Tell me this is about consistency. Tell me that has been inadequate at the presentation of anti-Semitic remarks when you have a member of the Jewish state slaves and an entire lot of troops and also elevated one of the highest committee assignments in this body.
Upstarts, all of that shit. Trying to come in like Democrats or Republicans or like independent. It doesn't even matter how you spent.
Your party as a third party.
You spent the session. You should have really learned the lesson. Hard aggression and pressing with punch. Understand we're the funky stuff. They got your mind, moving. And got your mind,
They talking shit. They ain't talking about nothing. Yeah, they talking shit. They ain't talking about nothing. Yeah, I hear them talking. What the fuck is they talking about? Yeah, I hear them talking. What the fuck is they talking about? Yeah, they talking shit. They ain't talking. Yeah, they talking shit. They ain't talking about nothing. Yeah, I hear them talking. What the fuck is they talking about? Yeah, I hear them talking. What the
Let me
fuck is
tell
they
you what,
talking
nobody
about?
wants to talk to y'all
Yeah,
behind
talking
closed
shit.
doors because y'all lie. That's just the bottom line.
Sail toward fast asthma relief with Breathora.
$300 for a refill?
Don't pay that. Use Single Care. Look up your prescription, show the coupon to the pharmacist, and save.
See why more people are saving with Single Care.
Mary's Bunch.
The president and the people around him are literally brain broken. And when I say brain broken, I mean quite literally. A New York Magazine interview with Donald Trump had him forgetting words, stumbling, and then talking about how his father had Alzheimer's. Listen to this. Fred Trump died in 1999 at age 93, Donald Trump's father. He had, Trump said, quote, a heart that couldn't be stopped, with almost no health conditions to speak of throughout his long life. He had one problem, Trump said. At a certain age, about 86, 87, he started getting, what do they call it? He pointed to his forehead and looked to his press secretary for a word that escaped him. Alzheimer's, Levitt said. Like an Alzheimer's thing, Trump said. Well, I don't have it. Quote, is it something you think about at all? I asked. Quote, no, I don't think about it at all. You know why? He said, because whatever it is, my attitude is whatever. He's like, no, I forgot that I thought about Alzheimer's. Quite literally, the caricatures that they tried to paint of Joe Biden, that is Donald Trump. They called...
There's mounting outrage, criticism, and rebukes of how federal agents are operating in Minnesota.
The problem is not that enforcement is happening, it's clearly the manner in which these things are happening. These tactics are very obviously not safe.
The practices that these ICE and CBP agents are engaged in are not proper police tactics.
This is not policing and it's not military service. It's something dangerously undefined.
This is the third shooting now in less than 3 weeks. The Minneapolis Police Department went the entire year last year recovering about 900 guns from the street, arresting hundreds and hundreds of violent offenders, and we didn't shoot anyone.
We didn't shoot anyone. The Minneapolis police chief there noting that you can patrol apples to apples the exact same region that these DHS agents have been flooding. You can collect guns, you can do a lot of work, and you can do it without shooting a nurse to death. This is about policy, as our top guest noted tonight, an FBI veteran. It's about outcomes. And critics say images like this, the gas mask, the guns drawn, the militarized body armor, is exactly the wrong approach if you are honestly trying to pursue safety. The mask, the fatigue, the menacing attitude, a clear lack of crowd control training in dealing with protests, and maybe some critics say that's the point. They are not trained to deal with de-escalation and peace because from the top there is an effort to escalate, to talk about the Insurrection Act or martial law. The president talks openly about suspending elections and abusing power, so this is what the shock troops look like, say critics. Border Patrol agents are confronting cartels or illegal border crossing rather than protesters in urban areas is part of the obvious problem in those reports. DHS says it will handle any review of the killing of this American. That is a problem given that many Trump officials have already announced what they think the conclusion of that should be. After the shooting, local officials were also blocked from even going on the scene by federal agents, and they had a judicial warrant. We've talked about federalism and constitutional crises. This report is of your federal government defying the court-ordered requirements of your local government having access to a place where your local neighbor was shot to death by the feds. Not a good sign if this is allowed to continue, to say nothing of the tragedy of the loss of life. DOJ also fighting a judge's order to block federal agents about tampering with and destroying evidence. The border agents who killed Freddie have been moved out. So the question tonight is whether there is a cover-up of the killing. Will this investigation be credible? And if not, what does it say that a year into Donald Trump's term, as his actual support and credibility drops, he can now, to use the phrase, potentially get away with murder, or get away with killing people without a murder investigation? The videos of the shooting make it clear what happened, who escalated, that the officials were the ones with their guns drawn, then shot him to death, including a shot in the back, while he was, as the New York Times and others have accounted, restrained. Here is some of the pushback.
It was said that Mr. Peretti was banishing a weapon. Well, he was not banishing a weapon. Yes, he did have a weapon. It was said that by the White House that Mr. Peretti attacked those agents. No, he did not.
I think the administration wants to get back control of the narrative, and they need to. We have Bill Miller's reporting that there are some folks in DHS that are a little bit unhappy with the messaging, and understandably so.
It is politically disastrous for the president and also not the kind of civil society we need to live in.
Certainly should not be labeling him as being a domestic terrorist who is going to execute cops. There's no evidence to support that.
No, there's not. And this is not about a narrative. This is not about messaging. It's not about politics, although political pressure may yet save a future American from this kind of killing. This is, against all odds, still about facts. It is the facts on these videos that have caused so much blowback. It is the facts that the law and justice must care about. It is facts that are ultimately adjudicated when it is allowed in court. And apparently, the independent pursuit of those facts, journalistically, in court, or in any other way, a local Minnesota investigation, that scares the Trump administration. Scares them that the facts could come out and would force them to be held accountable for the facts. What are the facts? Well, we're still gathering them. But contrary to some of what the Trump administration has said and lied about, which I'm not going to repeat on this news program, the New York Times account of this shooting notes that about 8 seconds after the victim was pinned, so 8 seconds go by since the pinning, and then, quote, agents yell that he has a gun. Now, legally, that matters because, as the Times notes, that indicates they may not have known he was armed until he was on the ground and had been pinned, meaning no longer any kind of threat.
I stopped counting years when I was 26. You see a shark, it's a fish, and I done seen plenty of fish. But in the jungle, there's the lion, and the lioness. You put the club in his man, they pull like his father's is. This hasn't said it, not yet. And I'm still fucking down for the set. And I ain't giving up on the check, and I ain't checking for respect. To me, the industry is suckers feel. And what you work out there, you listen to what you feel. We industry isn't all that, just like you. And my video just got 1 million views. Couple views, I best to rap to the same crowd you rapping to. The city's trapping, my city will be trapping food. I give a fuck about what you thought. I thought you knew that we on the hunt, so feel the run of 2 and 2. Vietnam, fuck with me, I'm going off like Vietcong. Fuck with me, I'm going off like Vietcong, fuck Vietcong. Like Vietnam, Saddam. Vietnam, fuck with me, I'm going off like Vietcong. Fuck with me, I'm going off Vietcong. In the most right, I'm getting a trap. Just like it be, standing in the back, listening to crack. Have I learned the blind? Cannot only regret is being so true to the set. I was holding my breath and I cannot breathe. Seen a few things, seen through a few things. How that breath stank off in the steam. I swear to God, compared to the odds, you see how good I always can see. But I can't explain why thicker brains was always fucking with me. They make the sucking, but that ain't nothing, cause they accept less than a G. From the to my apartment, I'm moving in. I accept defeat, so many battles for war. The streets, shoulder to shoulder, how we hustle, and we win this week. And I'm damned if I let you sham. I'm the fucking epitome of something great. Make no mistake, I remain as focused as can be. Vietnam, I'm going up like Vietcong. I'm going up like Vietcong. Vietnam, fuck with me, I'm going off like Vietcong. Fuck with me, I'm going off like Vietcong. Fuck Vietcong, like Vietnam, Saddam.
I guess it's only right for us to say something, kidfolk. Y'all, we done came to the conclusion that we recognize what's happening in this country, and we understand that, you know, with the way that it's about to go, that a lot of y'all are really getting ready to have your lives in jeopardy, and we would love for y'all to protect yourselves by understanding what you're up against. You know, you just need to go and study other regimes that in other countries that this happened in, and then look at what happened, because that's exactly what's happened in here. And if you don't understand that, then you can just go read the Project 2025 program, or you can also go out and, you know, grab a historian or somebody that might understand it and be able to break it down to you. But you're going to have to study this. Everybody, I advise anybody and everybody to start their journey on understanding the Constitution. The Constitution is what you're going to have to start your journey on understanding, so that way that you can become a full person. Because without understanding the full Constitution, you're not going to be a full person. Because without understanding what the real situation is, you're going to always be wondering what the real situation is. And if you got somebody telling you what it is and you don't know it for yourself, then they can tell you anything. And that's not good for you, and that's unhealthy. And that's basically the only thing I can say right now, you know, because it's smart to know what you're talking about. And it's also smart to know what not to talk about. But I can say that we at a point now where, you know, your talents, you need to be using your talents, put them to the front and try to do what you can, because right now, God's way is the only way, and that's the way that we're all getting ready to go down. So everybody needs to just grab a hold to their belief systems and believe in what you believe in, and grab a hold to that, because what's about to happen next is not going to have really a big explanation, but the proof is in the pudding. And as you see it unfold, you know what I mean? You just got to then step back and then just realize that this is your time and your age, you know? How I do, kinfolk? Was I dancing around the topic too much?
Point, always on point. You're always on point, my brother, for real. Yeah. But it is situations that, you know, working on these jobs, you're going to occur to run into. And I done had, I don't want to say Trumpians buddies, but just the fact that they running the jobs and stuff, and running with these false narratives every day, looking at you a certain way, you will lose your job sometimes. Because they hitting us in all kind of angles and ways, you know. But us going out protesting, walking around, talking, speaking, letting everybody know what's going on, because we all living it. We all living it. And I want to make a point to speak out and help. The way they shoved that woman, that guy was just trying to help her.
Yeah, that was sad, brother.
Took him out. I remember they used to back in the day. They used to take out their jackets and throw it on the ground and let them walk over his water and stuff. And now you shove a woman like that, nobody do nothing. What? It's got to be changes, man. Starts from the top. It's got to be changed.
I agree with you on that, man, because if I see somebody just walk up to a woman and just grab her and just take her and just chunk her like a football, man, I mean, come on, man. I'm probably going to be like, hey. Okay, we understand that you guys are looking for illegals and all that. I mean, I'm not saying, allegedly, this is what I would do, you know. So, but I'm just saying that just imagine what you would be thinking. I mean, you just see somebody just walk up and grab some helpless woman and just chunk her. Yeah, that's somebody's grandma, somebody's mom, somebody's wife, somebody's, sister. If you can't feel that, if a person has to say that in order for you to feel that, what, you don't have a sister or something? Maybe you were raised without a sister or something. Or maybe you didn't have a mom or something. Maybe you hated your sister or you hated your mom or something. I don't know. To me, I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody that, that feels like they got to, walk up and grab a woman and chunk her like a football. Come on, man. How many people do you know that walk up to women and just grab them and handle them like that, man? That's just not like, that's not nowhere normal, man. Not nowhere in America. Every guy walks up and tries to stop you from abusing a woman. Every guy does that. I thought every true grown man truly does that. Hell, I think I did that when I was a kid, just to be honest. When I was a teenager, I would see something like that and run up in the middle of it and be like, hey, I don't even know. It could be you and your girlfriend. I might not even know. It could be you and your wife. I don't know. I could be putting my life on the line. You know what I mean? I seen this man, he put his life on the line. But for them to stand back and just gun that man with that many bullets into his body, for what? For what? I'm not taking, I'm not trying to say, this, that, this or that, you know what I mean? I'm just saying from what the video footage showed, you know what I mean? So allegedly.
So many lies. So many lies. Yeah. I just know the Republican Party all of a sudden is worse. Want to say they was not government? No. I don't know how it changed. They government and in everybody's business. They want to talk about the Democrats, what we do. I'm a Democrat. What we do and all, and how we drink the Kool-Aid. Y'all kissing the ring. Y'all don't even want to speak up. It's crazy. Take food from kids. What would Jesus do? Y'all don't like to hear the truth. I just don't get it. Don't get it. Blind justice, blind justice. But we need to come together and speak up on all this and record. Somebody come in your neighborhood like that. Somebody come in the store and you've been going to this store and they come in and this and that and they ain't even from here. They ain't even from the area. And they just come in bogarting and knocking motherfuckers out the way and all that. Yeah, man, you gonna speak up on it, you gonna do something. It just, You ain't gonna let that happen, man. It really don't make sense what they doing. It don't make sense. Maybe we gonna punk everybody. We not all pedophiles, motherfucker. No. We down here working, doing the real work. Yeah. This shit is insane, man.
It's just a crying shame, brother. It's got to be, man. And you know, I still, man, go back to the same story that I've been saying. You see helicopters chasing the dang car that the guy had no seatbelt on, and next thing you know, they're chasing him because he doesn't have a driver's license, and they got the helicopter on him. They're throwing stop sticks out in the street, and 4 or 5 counties are coming together to stop this guy, and he's been running over 40 miles over 2 counties, and everybody's on a high speed. There's 40, 50 cops after this guy. We know these guys are violating the Constitution. We're sitting up watching violation of the Constitution. Well, I don't see them ganging up now. But I mean, you've seen it with your own eyes that the man broke the law. I mean, come on now. You guys are the masters of judging this type of stuff. A man has a self-defense situation at his house, and you guys are the first ones there, ain't y'all? Don't y'all always show up and then judge whether or not if he was doing it in self-defense or not? Where y'all at now? I mean, what is this stuff where people are blatantly lying and you still don't, you can't go by your own eyes and own judgment? So when your judgment is what you can be overruled over constitutional oath? I guess so. I mean, allegedly. I guess allegedly I could be overruled by a constitutional oath. Your oath can be overruled, you know, even though it was supposed to be for all enemies, foreign and domestic. But as long as the domestic one is on your buddy, everything's okay, huh? Good old buddy, huh? Well, allegedly. That's what they're saying. But you can't tell because, I mean, we're staring in the face of it right now. And people are truly suffering right now. I mean, it doesn't make sense right now. I mean, you got everything that we was dealing with that we thought we already had taken care of, heck, for the last 10,000 years. I mean, when you look at Constitution, I mean, that was allegedly too, I guess, obviously, because we still dealing with the same drama, like as if, you know, like as if there is no government or something. I mean, what is going on with that? When we have a situation where there's no government? I think I need to clear up my name too. You know, I'm DJ Declare War. That comes from back in the days of DJing and DJ battling. So we was declaring war on other DJs. That's where the name comes from. So when you see DJ Declare War, don't get your pants all up in a bunch because it's not about war, physical war, or out hurting other people. That's talking about DJ battling, all right? Hip hop, beatbox battling, DJ Declare War, beat producing battling, and battling on DJing, and that's what that's talking about. It literally says it in the name. The DJ is declaring war on other DJs. All right, that's mixing and scratching. You know what I'm talking about? Man, if y'all want a sample of what mixing and scratching is, I'll give y'all one real quick. Hold on a second. I was about to go live on TikTok. So let me go over here and set that up real quick. And then we'll get to some mixing and some scratching. Or at least we'll get into some scratching, right? Y'all listen to scratching out there? I don't know if y'all listen to scratching out there, but we be over here mixing and scratching in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's where we at. We in the Midwest. You know what I'm talking about. If y'all need to know who he is or what we doing, you can hit me up in my DM or whatever, and leave me a message or whatever, and I'll come in there and I'll talk to you, whatever and stuff. I already got people talking to me on TikTok, which is cool. You know what I'm talking about. But they be talking about a lot of stupid stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Like that one girl that want me to send her some money or something. I don't even know what you talking about, what kind of robot that is. What kind of robot asks you to send them some money, man? You know what I'm talking about? Y'all be sending money to people out on the internet because they be really for sure like they getting ready to get some money. They be like, send me some money. Is that what y'all be doing out there? I don't know. But we live now too on there too. So I'm going to go ahead and let Whip Bands talk to y'all for a second. If he want to speak on anything, that's on him. But this is Beat News. There's no question this is Beat News. You know what I'm talking about? So everybody understands Beat News. Okay, now as a DJ, I try to use DJing as an instrument, so that's why you hear scratching out through my songs and stuff. I try to use DJing as an instrument because I believe that's part of the music. You know what I'm talking about? But I've always used rap as part of my music, of course. So that's a little rapping and all that right there. I never had a reputation of rapping about some bullshit, so I usually be having some hidden message behind it. And if you ever want to know what the hidden message is, you can question me on anything. You know what I'm talking about? And what you do out there, you're busy what you feel. And all that, just like you. And my video just got 1 million views. Come confused, I best to rap to the same crowd you rapping to. The CD trap, my CD really trapping fool. I give a fuck about what you thought. I thought you knew. On the hunt, so feel the burn to me. Be it, fuck with me. Be it calm, fuck with me. I'm going to rock. Fuck be it calm, be it young, be it calm. Be it calm. I put in the most rap, get it a trap. Just as I could be, standing in the back, listening to crack. How I learned the blind, cannot leave. The regret is being so true to the set. I was holding my breath and I cannot breathe. Seen a few things, seen through a few things. How that perhaps stank off in the steam. Word of God, just I could always see. Can't explain why the brain was always fucking with me. Just like that ain't nothing, cause they accept less than achieve. Work upon to my opening and welcome me. I accept so many battles for the street and show the show on how we hustle and we win in this week. I'm the fucking with me. Something great. Mistake I remain as focused as can be. Be it no. Be it calm. Be it calm. Be it
Vietnam. Vietnam.
Excuse me if I swing an elbow or two, but you went up on me like that. It's different. That's crazy.
That's real shit right there. Make no example out of me, my brother. Make a damn example out of you. So, what do you think about the stance that they trying to make that he showed up with a gun and clips and all that? I mean, do you feel like that's makes him a threat? Allegedly, makes him a threat. Folks, what do you think that makes him a threat?
Yeah. You know, it's license that you can, so, but clearly he was doing the traffic, you know, recording his TikTok or YouTubes or whatever he was doing, and
Yeah.
he's a nurse, so he looked over and a woman maybe he knew or whatever got pushed. Like, man, you don't push a dude like that. A woman too. That was ignorant shit. Goes by their guidelines of who they is and stuff. You know, guys in medical. I'm trying to hurt nobody, directing traffic, recording his TikTok or whatever. It's a lot of respectful people out here. You can't just come in our neighborhoods and just push us around and think we ain't gonna look up and try to fight back. I know that woman from work or something, you know. So it's hard to sit back and watch people you know get did like this. Families. Now you messing with Amigo over here. What's up with that? Like Amigo ain't did nothing but go to work, pay his stuff, do what he gotta do, and survive. Y'all just come over and just, man, it's crazy. Now y'all doing the white people. Y'all, maybe we don't need to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we don't need to stand up. Maybe we do. And some of us will stand up.
No.
Wherever you want to go with it.
I don't know if I'm supposed to stay out the way, but right now it just seems like, you know, I mean, right now it doesn't seem like we in the way, but it also doesn't seem like, you know, we trying to, you know, push ourselves up on it. I think our stance that we're taking here on Beat News is good enough. You know what I mean? To let you know that we're actually putting part out on the media side and talking about stuff that's relevant. Because like right now, this is probably really, really more relevant than what you probably would even know. Because if you don't think this is relevant, or if you don't, or if this ain't relevant to you, then yeah, this is probably not a blog talk that you probably want to be on right here, because our podcast is probably going to be on some stuff that it's going to be talking about stuff on a heavy level, because we're not here to overthrow no government or to try to, you know, speak down on, you know, any administration or anything like that, because we've always believed that if you're willing to speak down on somebody, then you're willing to be spoke down on. So we don't speak down on, but when we're watching the Constitution being violated, we usually don't stand back and just make it seem like as if, you know, we're just trying to make it seem like we don't understand what's going on. So if we see a violation to the Constitution, then we'll recognize that like right off the bat, because we're real studied on that. So we're not here to say that anybody's this or anybody's that or none of that type of stuff, but we are here to call out anything that we see that violates any agreement with the Constitution, because that's the only thing that we have out here. And that's the only thing that any of us has out here. So with that being said, you know what I mean? And we're going to have to be willing to understand that the Constitution is the only thing out here that anybody has to do anything with. And if people are taking oaths to it, those are contracts with us. And if we got contracts between somebody and they're violating the contracts, that's a breach of contract. That's really where you need to be going with this, because all this stuff is commercial. UCC 1-308 and UCC ones basically, and you can just go in and realize that whenever you're dealing with contract law, you're dealing with obligations and fiduciary duties and all kind of stuff like that, and they've got a fiduciary duty to make sure that we're taken care of and that we're all right. But I'm seeing them walking away from their fiduciary duties. I mean, I don't see no difference in what's happening in Venezuela and what happened in Uvalde. When that kid went into Uvalde and he was in there shooting them kids up, and then them people were standing on the outside watching. I mean, and they called the police in, and the police didn't do nothing, did they? They just stood out there and was just like, I mean, we don't know. Ain't that basically what's happening? Allegedly. So I'm just saying allegedly, you know what I mean? I mean, believe it or not, or how you see it, you know what I mean? But I'm just making little common sense comparisons, you know what I mean? And you can judge on your own if you think it makes any sense. But that's the first thing that came to my mind. But, it's allegedly,
Yeah, it's crazy, and I got the Mexican homies coming up to me. Man, you look like my homeboy's uncle. He black. He brown skinned. Melon. And its treaties was made. America. It was a lot of different people. It was treaties made. It's ways. You got a history here. The laws. I don't, obey the laws of the land. What is they obey? What kind of stuff, secret accounts going on? It's just goes on and on, all kind of stuff. But I was told in the end, the truth will come out. Tonight, it could be tomorrow, but the truth will come out. You got something, homeboy?
We just had somebody come in, kinfolk, and say, rub your pussy on a cheese grater for a galaxy, nigga. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I don't know, but shit. If you watching, brother, whatever the fuck you is, you can go shut the fuck up. That's what the fuck you can do for this month. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, we're not trying to have those type of conversations, so I just went ahead and blocked them so that way we can keep on what we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we still got to realize that, you know what I mean, where we at, because you can't abandon your country just because somebody's going crazy. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not just to walk away from nothing just because somebody's going crazy. You know what I'm talking about? So you don't throw the baby and the bath water out when you're changing the bathtub. You wash the baby, take the baby out, and then let the water drain. You want to keep this dirty water. You throw the water out and you keep the baby. Yeah, they trying to throw the whole damn cookie out. No, we ain't walking away from the Constitution. And I don't want to hear that constitutional talk about the Constitution wasn't for no black man and all that. That's corny talk, brother. The Constitution is for all Americans. And if you think Americans wasn't on this planet, on this land with dark skin, then you missing the whole purpose of the history, brother. What's the use of having books if you don't even know what the use for them is? So we go into those type of books. We look for real truth and real history. We're not caught up in that cosmetic clown talk, you know what I mean? So you little toy boys coming on here with the little cartoon jargon, trying to make it look like you're going to disrespect us. That ain't no disrespect, bro. That right there ain't nothing but bubblegum chatter, bro. With your all caps, you know what I'm saying? We in this thing right here to win it, you know what I'm talking about, forever. This thing ain't no joke or no one-time movement. And if you don't understand that, then you don't understand nothing. You serial hitter. So we sitting up here, we serial constitutionalists. So how you like that, silly? You think you're going to move out the Constitution? I don't think so. Don't you see what them people out there are doing? You ain't never seen them react to your side like that. They're sending out, they bombed them people with so many snowballs. It was insane, bro. You ain't never seen the crowd reject somebody that bad. That's the most rejection I've ever seen. You ever seen anybody be rejected that bad? What if they would have did that back in the Martin Luther King days, whenever Martin Luther King was marching and stuff? What if the crowd just turned on the people that was oppressing the oppressors like that? That would have been a sight to see for the old videos. Because they so doing it nowadays. They are not fit to let no video go down on their watch without them defending the Constitution. So that's where we at. We don't know what this conversation is about. We don't know how anybody got confused about what's going on. We don't know why anybody is standing around like, duh. Because if you are, then you missed out. Because this is a badass country. Badass country with a badass government called Constitution. Yeah. And when you got real oath keepers that's keeping the oath of the Constitution, then you got a real situation going on then. That's when the country is at its best. Is when you got everybody upholding their oath to the Constitution, not their oath to the corporation. How you gonna serve the stockholders and the damn people at the same time? You gotta pick a side. How you gonna be subservient to the profit that you gotta make for the corporation while you still try to protect rights? That don't make no sense. So They're getting confused. They think the money is where the government is, and the government is not the money, because the money is not the government. In fact, the government has a right to coin the money, but they chose to go ahead and go with a printer. Now they're trying to get you on a digital recorder or some Bitcoin or something. Man, that's a joke, bro. That's a joke. So while we stand here looking at the joke, no punchline, we got to stand around and realize that this is all for what? To protect a few madmen? I guess so. But, you know, we beat news, so